You are live with Get Connected. Mike Agarbo here with my co-host, John Beeler. We have a great program for you today. I think a lot of people are thinking shopping right now with Black Friday just happening and Cyber Monday coming up. We've got in a little bit here Marc Saltzman on the line to talk about his favorite Cyber Monday tech picks. There's some really cool stuff and some big bucks you can save. We'll also be talking with Ted Kratsonos, our man in Toronto, about using your digital camera or your DSLR as a webcam. A lot of people are using the crappy webcam built into their laptop. This is a way to use a really good camera with good lens to kind of up your appearance. And I need all the help I can get. So I'm super interested in talking to Ted about this. Let's talk about some of the Black Friday stuff happening. One thing that you were struggling with for the past few weeks was getting a new provider for your internet and TV.
Yes.
And so this is a good story, but it's with TELUS and Shaw here out west, but kind of applicable whether you're with Bell or Rogers or whoever.
Right. So 2 years ago for Black Friday, I got a really good deal with Shaw, and it was basically for I wanted faster internet.
Yeah.
I wanted to decrease my TV, and I was not quite ready to cut the cord, but working on that.
Yeah.
Just getting rid of all the movie channels and that kind of stuff. Got a really good deal, way better than I was expecting. And I'm like, okay, I'm happy.
How much?
$102 taxes in.
So you got TV and internet.
Yeah.
And how fast is your internet?
It was 600.
God, that's pretty smoking fast. 600 megabits. That's fast.
Yeah. That's what I got 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, I did pretty good.
Yeah.
And then this summer, I think we talked about it when it happened. They sent me an email saying, hey, your plan is coming up for renewal. Here's a special deal for you. It wasn't so special.
They need to make money on you now.
Yeah. And that's the crazy thing is my deal basically was the retail cost with a whole bunch of credits. That's typically how these companies do that. Right?
Yeah.
So we're going to charge you the full amount, but then we're going to give you a bunch of credits before we actually charge you.
Yeah.
Right.
Like on the box and promo pricing. Yeah.
The Wi-Fi box rental and all that kind of stuff. Installations waived, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I basically had $90 in credits on my account. So my monthly bill was normally $190.
Yeah.
Or roughly.
But it got down to about $102 a month that you actually paid.
That's after tax.
Yeah.
So it was like 93 or 94.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the holy grail and I didn't just get like 2 channels. I got like a lot of TV, a lot of HD channels. And the reality was I'm not really watching a lot of them.
No.
A handful. So then I tried twice with Shaw. What can you do for me? I'm going to renew. Keep me in the family.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to go and get new equipment and all this other stuff. I got crickets. It was just a painful process.
Yeah.
And, Shaw, I'm sorry. I really wanted this to work. But I also found out in the summertime, they shut down their retentions department.
Okay.
So you don't have another
level.
You can't pull a Karen and speak to the manager.
Yeah.
The manager's not there anymore.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So that was frustrating. And it wasn't just me. It was a number of my friends, and my fiance also is going through this process, and none of us got a very good deal.
Yeah.
Basically, we're getting what the same someone new would be getting. And it's even then it's not that sweet. And so the pattern was emerging that maybe this is the COVID tax, right?
Yeah.
They're not really offering any special deals because of the fact
because you're trapped.
Because everyone's using it right now, right? And the key thing is you have to lock in for these things. And sometimes you get a deal if you go to the mall and there's a kiosk for Shaw or TELUS or whatever. Sometimes they'll give some incentive for you to sign up as a new customer. You'll get a gift card for Amazon or some other store. And I'm like, okay, let's see what my options are. So I look at TELUS, and I'm already a TELUS mobile subscriber, so I know that I can bundle my home internet, my mobile internet, and TV if I wanted. So let's just see what that's going to cost. So when I was talking to Shaw, the best they could do is they could grandfather my current plan for about $35 more.
That's not grandfathering it.
No, I know.
John.
But the thing is, the plan the service that I have right now isn't something you can actually get anymore.
Okay.
600 internet's not an option. They have 750 or gigabit.
Got it. Okay.
Right. So, but they were going to give me the same speed that I was already paying for, but they were going to charge me $35 before tax more to keep the same thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, well, that's the worst case scenario. That's how bad it's going to be. Let's see what TELUS is going to offer. Yeah. And TELUS has gigabit internet. It's $100 a month, but they have a Black Friday promotion. You get $200 off the top if you get a TV package as well. I'm like, okay, well, that's okay. When I did all the math, it worked out to be basically, I think, $7 more a month than what I would get from Shaw, but I would get the gigabit internet and I would get a smaller TV package.
Yeah.
But, you know,
it didn't matter to you because you're not watching the TV as much.
No. And I also have gigabit internet, so I can watch anything I want and not worry about speed or anything like that.
Yeah.
The challenge, though, that I discovered, I live in a townhouse, and my complex had got, I don't even remember this happening, but at some point, somebody from TELUS came in and installed the fiber line in my garage.
Yeah.
But the problem that a lot of people will probably encounter when they go to these fiber services is your house wiring is probably very old.
Yeah.
So they have a couple options that they can do. One is you just make everything wireless.
Yep.
They put the thing wherever they can put it in your house. And
the garage in your case.
In my case, which actually isn't bad.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a pile of electronics sitting on my stereo stand or whatever.
Yeah.
But then, you know, the problem is that with my telephone lines in the house, they're all Cat 3, so they're way substandard for any kind of internet service.
Yeah.
Especially gigabit.
Yeah.
So right now I'm doing wireless, and it's not bad. I'm not fully getting the gigabit that I'm paying for.
You're getting close though.
Well, at the router level, I am.
Yeah. And
that's hardwired to a mesh router that I have.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I'm getting like 750 or 760, and I'm getting like almost 900 upload, which is.
Oh yeah, that is smoking.
Which is insane because before with Shaw I was getting 20.
Yeah.
So
that's good for like uploading stuff and for video streaming or video calls and things like that.
Yeah, anything that needs a lot of bandwidth in both directions, right?
So how much are you paying a month now with TELUS?
Well, because I'm already a mobile subscriber, the Black Friday deal that I got, I'm paying $120 a month.
Yeah.
For those services, and I got a $200 bill credit on top of that, and free installation.
And you get faster internet.
Way faster.
Interesting. So check out Black Friday deals for providers right now, internet providers.
Yeah. Sorry, Shaw. I tried.
When we come back from the break, we'll be chatting with our good friend Marc Saltzman out of Toronto about the best Cyber Monday deals for tech. Stay tuned. We're going to talk Cyber Monday deals. Obviously the past few weeks, there's just been Black Friday deals. They're still continuing into Cyber Monday. There's a whole bunch of great deals coming out on tech items as well. We've got a great guest, my good friend, Marc Saltzman out of Toronto. Thanks for joining us, Marc.
Thanks for having me, guys. Always a pleasure.
How does it feel to be on the best tech radio show?
It feels pretty good. I'll be honest. It's quite a privilege.
I'm teasing. Marc, he is one of my favorite tech journalists in Canada. He's on, I think, 7 different radio stations here in the country. And if they ever spin up the movie theaters again, you can see his giant face.
I don't know about that, but thank you. Yeah. Last one I did was December of last year, pre-COVID.
Oh my God.
Yeah, BC, as my wife would say, before COVID. It's, I don't know if that'll ever return, but yeah, it was a good 10-year run anyways for Gear Guide. Thanks. Yeah.
Hopefully it comes back. So, Marc, I wanted to go through some items that you're looking at for Cyber Monday as far as deals. What about in the fitness tracking range? Anything caught your eye?
Yeah, so there's as you know, a few options out there for smartwatches that are ideal for capturing your fitness and even your sleep data. But there's a really good sale on for the Fitbit Sense, which is the latest Fitbit wearable. Instead of $429, it's $359 at Best Buy. and bestbuy.ca. So that's a really good deal on a really advanced and versatile smartwatch. So of course, it tracks your fitness information. And as I mentioned, it has automatic workout detection. So you don't have to say, I'm going swimming or I'm going running. It kind of gets the idea with its built-in sensors, what you're doing. But more importantly, perhaps, is these devices, as you likely know, are evolving into health and wellness tools too. So it has a built-in ECG, electrocardiogram. It's got like thermodermal technology. It looks at your skin temperature and stress management. So really cool stuff. You could choose to use it with Alexa or Google Assistant, because with such a small display, I mean, here it is right here, by the way. This is the Fitbit Sense. It's a lot more conducive to use your voice, obviously, than using your fingertips to try to navigate through all that content. And there's customizable, bands. You can tap to buy something at retail. You know the drill. I'm talking to two techies here, but that's a pretty steep discount. So $359 instead of $429 at Best Buy for the Fitbit Sense.
Yeah, it's a great little smartwatch, and I think it's really versatile as well. Like it doesn't matter what ecosystem you're in. If you're in the Apple world or the Android world, it'll work perfectly with both of those. What about in the laptop arena? Anything there caught your eye?
Yeah, the Surface Go laptop is, I think, Surface Laptop Go rather. I think there's a lot of bang for the buck with this laptop. I've got it somewhere here. I'm not going to try to show and tell it all, but it is a really thin and light Surface Book. So as you likely know, and your viewers and listeners know, that Microsoft took a page from Apple and started to create their own branded devices, and better quality control, because it's all Microsoft hardware as well as the software. Of course, it's Windows 10 Home, but for $759 and up, it is a really thin and light touchscreen laptop. It's a 12.4-inch display with a super comfortable and large trackpad that supports all kinds of gestures. It's got an HD webcam for all your Skype calls and such, like what we're doing now, and several ports along the side. But I love the fact you're not trading performance for the thin and light form factor. It's got an 11th gen Intel Core processor and all that. So for $759, this feels like it's like a $1,500 laptop that I've been using. So that's a good deal over Cyber Monday, and it started just before Black Friday, and it will continue into December as well.
So, Marc, when you're talking laptops, these have to be connected. Obviously, you want a good Wi-Fi connection in the home. And the latest standard is something called Wi-Fi 6. They've gone away from the weird 802.11 AC and N and all that stuff that most people don't understand. Wi-Fi 6, all the new smartphones have it. All the new laptops have it. Gets high speed to that device, but also it manages all the devices better in your home as well. Like in my house, I think I have 60 items that are connected on my network. So
for what you guys do for a living, that's probably even a modest number.
I glow at night now.
That's not good.
So what deals on Wi-Fi 6 routers are out there?
Yeah. So I have heard you guys talk about Wi-Fi 6 all year round. And it's an important part of the story, because you could have the coolest laptop and the most advanced smartphone, but without that infrastructure that in your home, you're going to have bandwidth problems. So Wi-Fi 6, you're right, is the latest standard. Let's say it adds more lanes to the super information highway. So, right, it reduces congestion in order for you to reach faster speeds, up to 90% faster on the 5 gigahertz band compared to Wi-Fi 5 or 802.11 AC. So much faster. So I like this D-Link AX 1800 router, because it's on sale. Instead of $159, it's $119, which I think is a great deal.
Wow, that's Monday. That's the cheapest I've seen a Wi-Fi 6 router.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's also mesh ready. So the Wi-Fi 6 part means that it'll handle more traffic or more simultaneous devices and faster speeds. But in terms of range, if you have a large home or an older home, and you have those dead zones where the kids are trying to study online, or mom or dad, they're trying to work from home, and there's these pockets that you're getting lousy Wi-Fi. This will resolve that. So you can add these D-Link extenders. They're optional to expand the wireless pin out to, say a backyard if you've got one, or a front porch. So for $119, you're getting a mesh-enabled Wi-Fi 6 router. Again, it's called the AX1800 Wi-Fi mesh system for as low as $119, and then the extenders are separate should you want them.
Let's talk about DNA Ancestry. They've got their kits on sale.
Yeah, so they're usually $129 for those Ancestry DNA kits, where you provide a saliva sample and you send it, off. Then a few weeks later, it, helps you unlock your family history. It shows you an ethnicity estimate with interactive maps and migration patterns going back hundreds of years. You can see where your family is from, down to the countries, and connect with relatives if you like. That part's optional, but there is a database of north of 18 million people, so it's very accurate. And I did this about 4 or 5 years ago, and it just gets better over time. I get like a little ping on my phone or in my email inbox, and I access my data through a password protected portal, and it just shows you, okay, new relatives found in New York, or we've narrowed down where your ancestors were from say 1850 to 1900. It's really wild. So it's usually $129 for that kit, and then it went down on sale to $89 last week ahead of Black Friday, and then now it's $69. So this is the most aggressively low price for Ancestry DNA throughout the year. It's just following the Thanksgiving long weekend in the US. So definitely take advantage of that if you've been on the fence. But I also think it's a more sentimental gift. Like it's, we always talk about gadgets and all that, and that can be really fun and entertaining and help with productivity. But I like that sentimental side of it as well.
It is actually a great gift item, Marc. We gave it to my parents, I think last year, and they're older, they emigrated from Denmark, the old country, and they loved it. My mom won't shut up about it now. Like that's all she ever talks about. And she's mad because my dad is from more places than she is. Like she is really Danish and southern Sweden, but he's down into Germany and over into Ireland, and she's like, "Why aren't I more Irish?" So it's just the gift that keeps on giving.
It is pretty wild, and and as I said, it does get more accurate over time. Yeah, and it's science. Like you can't dispute it. Like it's one thing to say, I think you're part Austrian, or I think it actually shows you genetically. It's called an autosomal DNA test. So it's from your mother and father passed down, and it's really a really great experience.
Marc, let's talk gaming. What are you seeing? Any cool games out there?
Yeah, where to start, especially with the year we've had, and now with the cooler weather and the pandemic and everything. People are staying at home and they are looking to interactive entertainment for the whole family. One of my favorite developers has a brand new game out this week. The developer is Harmonic. They're the folks that created Rock Band, if you remember that, and Dance Central, a dancing game. So they're obviously big on music games, and their latest is no exception. It's called Fuse. And Fuser is a DJ rhythm game, or a DJ mixing game. And it's so much fun that I haven't stopped playing it. It's available for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. And it will work on the new systems as well, by the way, since those new machines, Xbox Series X and PS5, are backward compatible. So it will play on those things. So it's a really fun game. You basically, as I mentioned, you're a DJ and you are on the stage of a digital music festival. This is kind of like the storyline, and you want to work your way up to be the headlining act. You have to mix from over 100 different song parts from the likes of like Post Malone and Lady Gaga and Lizzo, and there's a lot more. And you don't need a controller, like a special peripheral, like a DJ thing. If you remember Activision's DJ Hero from many, many moons ago, you had to buy this extra piece of hardware. You just use your controller now, or you can use a mouse and a keyboard if you're playing it on a PC. But really a lot of fun. You can customize your avatar. There's a lot to customize. It helps unleash your creativity. So it's not just a video game that's like, all pre-made for you and you just have to go through the actions. It really really does let you create and even share your mixes. So really fun. It's $79. There might be some sales depending on the retailers, but Fuser for Xbox One, PS4, and Windows PC. Really fun game. And then if you were lucky enough to find a PS5, which seems to be the hot ticket this year out of anything, this is like the very hard thing to grab. There's some great accessories that I would recommend if you're gifting for someone who did get a PS5 or they're planning on it, or you were lucky enough to get one. The new DualSense controller, you only get one in the box, so you want to pick up a second one. It feels unbelievable. Like, I love the feeling of this new controller. It's got more advanced haptic feedback, as well as what's called adaptive triggers. So it actually can the game developers can increase or decrease the tension in those trigger buttons based on what's happening on screen to make it even more immersive. There's a built-in microphone. So if you want to chat with your friends and you don't want to buy a separate microphone, it's in the controller now. So that's $89. And that is a great gift for someone who did score a PS5. And then finally, PlayStation Plus subscription is on sale this week. So usually it's $29 for 3 months. And this allows you, by the way, a PlayStation Plus subscription allows you to play games against others over the internet. Plus, you get 2 free games a month, and you also get discounts on other games. But instead of $29 for 3 months or $69 for the year, there are some pretty deep discounts, or the retailer is adding more months onto it. So it might be the same price depending on where you're shopping. But instead of 12 months, it may be 15 months, or instead of 3 months, it may be 5 or 6, or the price itself is discounted. So another great gift idea that you could take advantage of this time of year, Cyber Monday-ish, in order to save some money as you're gifting to a gamer on your gift list.
You've tried both consoles, the new Xbox, the new PlayStation?
Yeah, I have both. And there's not a lot you play for the Xbox based on, other than Xbox One games. But PS5 has some more exclusives like Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales. And there's Sackboy: A Big Adventure from the Little Big Planet universe. And a couple of others. Astro is a game you get with it. I really enjoyed both. The Xbox has a lot of power, but it's a bit of a leap of faith because there isn't a lot yet for it. Halo Infinite will be an exclusive, of course, in 2021, and it does have Xbox Series X versions of Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War and all that. But I've spent, I think, more time on PS5 so far. But both I don't think will disappoint. But it's sort of like a slow drip, if you will. It's going to take a while before if they fully realize the benefit.
Marc, as always, been a pleasure talking with you. Thanks for giving us some of your picks.
My pleasure. Thanks, guys. All the best. Great to chat with you.
When we come back from the break, more tech to talk here on Get Connected. Stay tuned. You're back with Get Connected. Mike and John here in studio. A lot of us are working from home now. And as such, you were probably doing a lot of video calls. Zoom would be a very popular program. Microsoft Teams. There's numerous ones out there. And so you need a webcam. And I tell people, get the best webcam that you can get. Typically the ones that are built into the laptops aren't that great.
Unless you have a Mac.
Unless you have a Mac, they're okay. But a lot of the Windows ones, they're kind of sucky. And so you want one that's capable of doing high def. You want to look good, right? Yeah. So have a good webcam, good lighting. But some people now are using their digital cameras, their DSLRs or SLRs. There's a lot of, hacks or software out there that will allow you to do that. And the dream there is that those are fantastic cameras. They've got great lenses. They're capable of punching out high def video as well. So we want to explore what that takes and if it's all that it's cracked up to be. To help us, we've got our expert, Ted Kritsonos out of Toronto. Ted, thanks for joining us.
Good to be with you guys. Thank you.
I wanted to get you on this. You've written a great article for us as well. You're a big camera guy, a photo buff, so you kind of know this stuff inside out. And it's kind of interesting, Ted. Before we go down this rabbit hole of using, your digital camera as a webcam, we actually were using a Sony digital camera. What model is this one?
This is the A6500. It's a little older camera,
but great lens.
Yeah.
Capable of high def video. So there's a hack for it that allows you to hook up your USB cable from this into your computer.
Well, it's not a hack. Sony actually released the software.
Sounds cooler if it's
okay.
Okay, it's a hack. So we were using it to record this radio show because we do a video podcast version that we put up on our website, and you can also check it out on TELUS TV as well. But we were noticing the quality wasn't that great, like compared to the webcam we were using before.
Yeah, which we're using right now.
Yes.
So at first I thought, oh, okay, this has got to be a Zoom thing.
Yeah.
Zoom has a new update every other day, it seems. And I try to keep up to date because sometimes features stop working and we have a lot of people that come on the show. We need to be having the latest version all the time. But then it was just defaulting to standard definition. This is a 4K camera.
Yeah.
The video looks great in 4K. It's broadcast worthy. But for whatever reason, the Sony imaging app and Zoom decided to not give us the full HD experience.
Yeah.
It gave us the standard definition experience.
So what did we determine? Why?
Well, I'm not 100% sure if it's Zoom or the Sony app itself. Basically what you do with this particular thing, and I'm trying not to steal all of Ted's thunder, but you take a piece of software, you install it on your computer, and then you need to make sure that you have the appropriate software firmware version on your camera as well. In some cases, you plug in a USB cable to your camera if you have one.
Yes.
And in this particular case, we have a micro USB port, and then we plug that into the computer, and then Zoom basically sees, hey, you've got a Sony camera. I'm going to use that as a camera source for Zoom.
Do you think so that's micro USB is the older standard. Do you think that's fast enough to get all the 4K video into your computer?
Well, we're not going to get 4K over Zoom anyways.
No.
But at least it should be HD.
Yeah.
And the other challenge that we also had is that when we set up to do these interviews all day, it actually depletes the battery faster than it's charging it. So I have to have extra batteries, and we have to make sure we check them before we do an interview so it doesn't die halfway through the interview.
Yeah.
So that's a problem. And Ted and I were talking before this segment about the fact that maybe it's just a limitation of the throughput of the USB port as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's lots of different variables, but let's get into the sort of the meat of Ted's.
Yeah. So Ted, we've got all these great cameras. Like,
Sure.
From your experience, how easy or difficult was it to make this happen?
Well, the software does a lot of the heavy lifting because it's supposed to enable the connection between the computer and the camera. So the camera is not doing much other than what the software is telling it to do. So that's why, whether it's Sony or Nikon or Canon or, or Fujifilm, they all created the software to try and make it easier for all this to work. So you just install the software, you make the connection, and you should be good to go. Now, some of the variables that John pointed out are some of those things that I think are harder for the average person to troubleshoot. Like, why all of a sudden should there not be HD video on Zoom? And we can't even tell. Is it a Zoom issue? Like, for us to figure it out, like we'd probably have to do a process of elimination to see if the same thing happens with Microsoft Teams or any other video software that people are generally using for meetings or whatever else. So I haven't tried it with Teams. I'm not sure. I have seen kind of the same issue John's talking about with Zoom. But then again, I understand that Zoom sometimes reduces the quality of the video stream because of, I don't know, it could be capacity, could be just to make sure that it doesn't cut out. I've heard various different things.
Well, I did ask Zoom tech support because we use a pro account, and they did say that because of COVID, if you have more than 3 people on the call, it'll automatically scale down to standard definition. It's a bandwidth saving thing, and we can't even buy our way into HD. It's just something they've done globally across the platform. So right now, there's 2 people on the call, Mike and I on one line, and then Ted on the other. So we're good. If we add a third person, though, it's going to drop down to standard definition. So that was what they said was the problem. There used to be a setting that you could actually just check to enable HD recording as well in the Zoom software. That's disappeared because they put up this COVID message saying that they reduced bandwidth globally just to make things easier for everybody. But in our case, we're actually using it for distribution. So it's a problem.
So then the question at that point is Zoom arbitrarily just reducing the quality even on a one-to-one conversation when a camera like that's being used. Most webcams, as we know, are not 1080p. They're 720p, including the ones on Macs, which are very good. I mean, I'm using one right now. But the fact is that because the webcams are at 720p, it's easier for Zoom to handle those. It seems like, I mean, never mind 4K, that's obviously not happening. But at 1080p, it seems like there is some kind of, I don't want to say an issue, but there may be a data bottleneck. Like maybe there's just too much going on and Zoom can't handle it. And it's kind of like, okay, what do we choose? Do we go with, video cutting off, or do we just reduce the quality so that video can continue? And that way, meetings and chats.
I wish they would tell you. Do you know what I mean? Like a little notification comes up. Hey, we're throttling down because of bandwidth issues.
And Mike, to follow up on that, I actually wish the camera manufacturers would mention something too. Yeah. Because if Sony and Nikon, Canon, if they said, listen, use our camera for a webcam, it'll work out great, but just so you know, there may be a situation where you won't get the full quality that you're expecting for these reasons. It's not under our control, but that's what it is. And then with the battery thing, I think it's a micro USB issue. The throughput on micro USB is nowhere near what it is for USB-C. And it takes power to get video running, off the camera onto the computer. So I'm not surprised that the charging it at the same time is not going to be the same.
Well, that was another issue that I think might also be related, is that the camera gets really hot when you're doing this for a long period of time. It might have actually overheated more so than the battery being depleted too. So, because that's the thing, is these cameras aren't meant for being on and shooting live video
for hours.
For hours on end.
Well, the software limits it too.
Yeah.
So from what I last saw, it's a limit of about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But if the camera gets too hot before that, then it may just shut off to protect itself, kind of like what smartphones do. Or I don't know, maybe it is a video. It'll just reduce the resolution to try and save some power as well. These are the sort of things that I think should be more obvious in the way that they explain it, but it is what it is.
So it sounds like a mixed bag. You can use your DSLR in most cases from the popular brands as a web camera, but some things to look out for are the battery drain, because it's going to drain the battery really quickly, and you might not always be getting the full video quality depending on what video calling or meeting software you're using. Ted, thanks for joining us.
It was a pleasure, guys. Thank you.
You can check out Ted's article up on our website, getconnectedmedia.com. When we come back from the break, more tech to talk. Stay tuned. You're back with Get Connected. Mike and John here. Don't forget to hit the website, getconnectedmedia.com, giving away a Google Pixel 4 XL smartphone. Fantastic camera phone. Hit the newsletter tab and enter to win. Any other Black Friday / Cyber Monday deals you're looking at?
Getting an air fryer.
Yeah. You've been talking about that.
I know.
Instapot?
No, actually.
No.
No, my fiance did some research and she thought the Tefal had the better reviews.
Oh, I'm going to check that one out.
Yeah.
Can you put enough stuff in there? That's a problem I find. Sometimes they're too small.
Well, they have some bigger ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Family size.
Family size. Yeah.
I'm looking at Oral-B. They've got those IO series toothbrushes. Right now, it's like $140 off.
Yeah.
At Walmart. The Series 7. And this thing's really cool. It's got a little screen on it, and it has a pressure sensor, so it can tell you if you're brushing too hard or too soft. It's got different modes like whitening and regular care, gum care. I thought it was cool.
I'll take your word for it.
I'm going to get one of those. I think that's a good deal. Also, if you're in the market for smart TV devices, Roku, they've got all their sticks and little add-ons, $10 off.
Yeah, and the stream bar is $40 off.
Yeah, we've reviewed that on the show here. This is a sound bar, and it's kind of like a mini one, so it'll fit any TV, but it's also got the Roku Smart TV built into it. So it'll make any TV smart and great sound as well. So I think that's fantastic.
For $40 off, yeah. I have one in my bedroom, and it's fantastic.
You love it.
I love it.
Yeah. Everyone that I know that has installed this, and I've tried it out here, they say it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So check it out. $40 off. Can't beat it. That's all the time we have left. I want to thank John my co-host and producer, and of course, Christina, our producer, back at the studio. We'll see you again next time.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube page. And you know that little bell icon? Hit that and you'll be notified every time we post a new video. And comment. The more comments and the more likes and subscriptions we get, the more videos we can make.